Hello, friends. Hi, how are you doing? This is attorney Marina Shepelsky. This is my weekly live, and we talk here about immigration news in America. We talk here about world news. We talk about immigration cases. If you have questions, I always answer them. Nothing said in this video is intended as legal advice. If you need legal advice specifically on your case, please call us to schedule a consultation and we'll be happy to address your situation. But of course, you guys know if you've been watching me that I will answer your questions anyway. I will answer not to give legal advice, but to explain how processes like yours usually work, the processing times, explain different things that I know from my 20 plus years, 21 years already of practicing immigration law, the problems that are faced by people just like you. And we talk about different ways of legalizing in U.S. and we talk about the different struggles that U.S. immigrants might have. I thought about if I should mention this in this show about what's happening in Israel and does it affect what I do here? And since this affects me personally, and since this is my show, I decided I will talk about it for a few minutes. I'm not going to take the show and create this into some political commentary show. That's not me. It's not my specialty. But I'm an immigration lawyer and I help people that are suffering from all parts of the world to come to US. So I will talk about the Israel Hamas conflict. And to me, first of all, let's back up. I'm an immigration lawyer. I came here from Ukraine. That's also a war right now, but I am Jewish. That's my nationality. That's my ethnic group. I'm Jewish. I'm not just religiously Jewish. It's in my blood. My parents are Jewish. Their parents are Jewish. Those parents are Jewish, and so on. Many generations were here to create me. So I'm Jewish all the way. I stand with Israel all the way. What happened on October 7th was a terrorist attack by Hamas. Hamas is not Palestine. Hamas is a terrorist organization that occupied and terrified Palestine, in my opinion. This is my opinion. And this terrorist organization attacked Israel. This was a declaration of war. More than 1,000 innocent Israelis died. This one little village on the Gaza Strip had 40 children die. Some of them were beheaded. I saw pictures, as I'm sure most of you did too. And this is a fact. This is not propaganda. So this was a declaration of war by Hamas. Israel will strike back, and they're striking back. I'm 100% on the side of Israel. The fact that I'm an immigration lawyer doesn't make me somehow sympathetic to the terrorists of Hamas. I feel bad for the civilians on the Palestinian side. I'm a human being. I'm a mom. I feel bad, and I feel that they were put in danger by the Hamas terrorists. Hamas is a terrorist organization. They were recognized as such by US. They're recognized as a terrorist organization by European Union and so on. So to me, this is very clear. This was a terrorist attack and it's war, and casualties will happen on both sides. Both Jewish people and Palestinian people have died and will keep dying, unfortunately. But I want to say this, right now, this is an opportunity for many of us to pray, to come together, to be more humane. I want to mention that we help people from all over the world to get refugee status, asylum status legalized in US because it's safe here. We are far enough from Europe, we are far enough from the Middle East that coming here makes you feel safe. And yes, we had 9/11. That was a terrorist act too, right? But still, overall, we feel safe here. We feel good. And people who come here have a chance to legalize and become part of the US society. So I'm part of that. This is my contribution to helping the world deal with terrorism. I hope you guys tell me where you're watching me from just to get the show going. If you believe Hamas is not a terrorist organization, unfollow me right now. I see somebody commenting that they don't think they're a terrorist organization. They're 100% terrorist organization. The time to choose sides has come. I have chosen a side. My side is with my people. My people are Israeli people, the Jewish people. If you don't like this, you don't have to watch my show. You don't have to take my free advice that I give for hours of my personal time and don't get paid anything for. You don't have to do this. You can just unfollow me, unfriend me, watch your Palestinian news that are giving you completely false information, and keep living your life. I wish you well. I don't wish you harm at all. But to me, 100% Hamas is a terrorist organization. And my people dying is like a family member died. Imagine if somebody came into India or Pakistan or wherever you are from, or even Mexico, and the neighboring country just started to send people in to shoot your people because you're saying they've been occupying your land for the last whatever years. Israel has been recognized as an independent state since 1948, and they didn't fight the Palestinian people for it. They fought the British. So the British had colonized Palestine before the Israelis. I don't want to get into a history lesson. It's very simple. If you don't like me, if you don't like my message, move on. Move on. You have your, Instagram accounts. You have lawyers, I'm sure, that follow the other side. It's okay. We live in America. You have a right to your opinion. I have a right to mine. And the time to be quiet is done. Enough of my people have died. I will not be quiet. Okay? So we move on. We are here to talk about immigration. We're here to talk about asylum. I'm passionate about helping people, escape dangerous situations. Right now, Nigeria is going through a lot. Ukraine has a war. There's wars everywhere. People are talking about possibilities of other nations invading their neighbors using the same methods of terrorists. You don't have to follow my message. You can keep listening to your own propaganda and follow other channels. It's all good. So let's talk about the news. The biggest news, and it's still in the news, is that people who are in different legal statuses here waiting for their applications to be processed, decided on, and approved with USCIS are about to start receiving 5-year work permits. 5-year work permits means that you can get your work permit and it's going to be good for 5 years. That's amazing for an employer, especially, right? That's amazing to prove your status for getting, a driver's license or anything like that. So this is a really great improvement in the USCIS system. I want to for it. I want to make things easier for themselves and for you guys and for us as the lawyers. Amazing. I'm happy that people who are waiting for asylum, waiting for a green card, asylum approved, withholding of removal approved, awaiting cancellation of removal, those categories will get 5-year work permits. If you're waiting for a green card based on VAWA, you are included. You will also get a 5-year work permit, and they're basically saying if you get denied, which happens, people get denied, you have to return your work permit to them. Although it'd be interesting to see how many people actually will return something to them, like a work permit or a transfer. If you're watching me from anywhere in the world, drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching me from. I got so upset. I'm discombobulated. I've just not been sleeping since this weekend because I saw everything that was happening in Israel. And when I finally can relax, because I work all the time, my life is work and my kids, and that's it, right? But when I finally lay down and I'm supposed to relax, I start to scroll through all the news and the Telegram channels, and when I start to see all these pictures of people dying from terrorism, it makes me really upset, and then I can't sleep at night. So I'm a little bit tired today. I hope you guys forgive me. I haven't slept since Saturday night. So let's go through today's news. What else is in the news? Oh, interesting news. The agency that's on the U.S. border, all of the borders really, it's called the CBP, for Customs Border Enforcement. So they have created a web page that's on the Department of Homeland web page where they now report their own mistakes, their own problems, their own corruption, their own bad deeds that they do. If you're interested, oh gosh, I want to be able to find this and post this in the comments. This is very good because now they're going to be accountable. You're not just going to read from the news. You're going to read from their own post. Here, I found it. It's called Accountability and Transparency of U.S. Customs and Border Protection Agency. So if you're watching me on YouTube or Facebook, I'm posting it in the comments here. You can find this website. And on Instagram, I'm also posting. If you have a question about U.S. immigration or you have a case in the process, please post it. I'll be happy to respond. People are asking me, is it still a possibility to immigrate to the United States? Look, I'm not going to say that it's easy, but it's possible to immigrate to the United States. Right now, more than ever, if you come to the border, to the U.S. border, and you post, you download the CBP app. You're in Mexico, so you have to come to the border through the Mexican side. You download the CBP One app. You fill out your application for asylum, and you do like a decent job. You have a chance to come in to U.S. with a parole status. That is a legal status for 1 year, and you will get a work permit. Once you're here, you can ask for asylum for real, you know? So that means that you actually will be able to file for asylum, file your application, any evidence that you have of asylum, you'll be able, you'll be able to do once you're in the States. So this never existed before. This is a new thing that the Biden administration has brought about, that you can get to the border and you can apply for asylum right at the border and it will work. They will let you in, So this is really good. And this is the time when it is possible to come to US. This is, of course, for people who are afraid to remain in their home countries. Yes, it's possible to come even without a visa. Of course, you can apply for a student visa or a tourist visitor visa. That's still available, and you can come and change your status inside US. A lot of people think that at this point, there are really two main ways to legalize in America, through asylum or through marriage to a US citizen. So we work in both of these areas. We do a lot of asylum cases, and sometimes it's a simple case like you were abused in your home country by your family, and the culture in your home country is such that they will not protect you even from your husband or your father or your mother in some cases, or mother-in-law, because it's normal to beat up on kids or whatever in the home country. That's everywhere. That's a case for asylum. The same goes for political opinions, for being, gay or LGBTQ, for not being like everyone else, for fighting corruption. So there are many situations that make you eligible for asylum. We work on them. And now is the best time to apply because the Biden administration is the most liberal that I have ever seen for immigration in my practice. So I'm not like just advertising immigration here. I'm being honest with you. My colleagues all agree with me. This is the best time to apply. I don't know what happens when these elections happen. What will happen? Will the next president be a Democrat? Even if they are, is it going to be Biden? I don't know. It's probably not going to be Biden. He's getting old and he's really not in the best health. But who knows? It could be Biden again if that's the true that's the truth, then then maybe more good news will come for immigrants and more ways to legalize. But we don't know what's going to happen next year. So I'm asking you, if you have a chance to leave your country and come here, now is the time. I don't know if it will be the time later. Today is the day. There's no past, there's no future. Now is the time. And that's to answer many of your questions. Should I come to US? How can I come to US? And so on. If you were a lawyer, so I have an Instagram question from Balsher Bajwa. I'm a lawyer from India and I want to settle in US. Please guide me about this procedure. If you can find an employer, an American like law firm or company that wants to hire you, they can file for an employment green card for you. The fact that you're from India makes this a super long process. You're gonna have to wait for years and years to come here. Straight up. I'm just, telling you how it is. If you come through the border and you can show that you were against the government, maybe you were fighting corruption, or maybe you are against, like, whatever the government is doing, you're a lawyer, you're well spoken, you posted about this, you spoke out about it, and your life is in danger with remaining in India, it's going to be quicker. But of course, if it's not true, it's not true. You can't file a case that's fake. We don't do that. We don't stand for that. So there you go. Good morning. Mani Kumar says hi and good morning. So Senna says love to Israel. Thank you so much. Collins Apollo says I stand with Israel and may God bless Israel. Thank you so much. May God bless Israel. Israel Chai means Israel lives. The people of Israel live. Porfiria Diaz says, good morning, pretty eyes. How can I know if I got an interview for a green card? Can I check through the EAC number for I-485? I remember your story, Porfiria, because we've been talking here for a while now. I think you got your approval of VAWA, and now you're waiting for your green card. Chances are you're not going to have an interview. So people who get approved for marriage in VAWA right now are rarely, almost never, getting interviews. So yes, when you're checking your case status, the EAC number, if there's an interview, they will say an interview has been scheduled for you. I have an interesting story for you guys to show you how USCIS are such freaking liars and how horribly unprofessional they are. So we just filed for like a big bakery in New Jersey for a chef for them, right? He is pretty well known. Has been on national TV here in America. He's been on big shows, general news shows even. As a chef, he's a natural, like he bakes natural organic food and so on. He's very well known. We applied for special employment green card for him. The bakery paid special money, 2,500, to premium process this. In other words, VIP expedited treatment. You get a phone number that you can call and talk to someone. So we filed it in like 10 days from the day we filed. The case was like this. He had so many proofs that he's a professional. This is what he does. We filed it in like early August. By like middle of August, there's a note when we check the case status that says request for evidence sent. We waited 3 weeks, nothing. So we called and said, hey guys, can you resend it? We never received it. And what I started to be suspicious about is the fact that neither our office as the attorney of record nor the bakery petitioner received anything from them. So, okay, maybe my copy was lost in the mail, but what about their copy? So neither copy arrived. Next thing you know, we called again and again, and this guy has to travel outside the country, and he paid to get results in 15 days. It's almost like now it's what are we in October? So it's like almost 2 months now instead of 15 days. We're really upset. They were talking to us and calling us and emailing me. And then we called premium processing. They said, oh no, you have to do it in writing. So all the times we did an electronic request online, we called, that doesn't count. You have to do a special email. So I wrote such an angry email today. I said, you guys are doing deceptive practices. You're liars. You said on your website that the language is we sent you a request for evidence. But when I called the person who picks up the phone, the customer representative, said that no, 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 we never sent anything. It's just a note the officer made, but she didn't prepare a request for evidence. There's no deadline in the system. Don't worry about the deadline. When you get it after you email us, that's when the deadline will be. So, in fact, it doesn't look like they even issued the request for evidence. They basically just made a note about it so that they don't have to give us a result within 15 days. This is what they do. And I wrote in my email, I said, if one of my clients did this and they wrote something, they gave you a document that wasn't true, you would say they're doing fraud and misrepresentation. But because you're a government agency, you can do whatever you want, even though this guy paid $2,500 separately from all the usual fees that he was supposed to pay. Yet, and somebody to talk to him. It makes me so angry how these people work, but we are constantly fighting this stupidity and the lying on their part. So, when I see something good happening, like they're issuing 5-year work permits, that's so much less times we have to deal with them. We apply for the work permit and you guys get the 5-year work permit. Amazing, you know? So that's also one of the advantages of filing for asylum right now or any kind of case. You get a 5-year work permit. You're good to go. All right. Mani Kumar has a question. He says, good morning, Marina. My I-35 based on VAWA, green card based on VAWA application is now pending more than 184 days, 804 days. 804. And when can I expect next update? Don't know, Mani. Don't know. You see how they work? They don't have to abide by any rules anymore. You have to sue them for everything. Okay, now remember, VAWA takes 3 years. So they're not going to process your green card application until VAWA is decided. If your VAWA is already decided, right, that's like 3 years later, only then they will start processing your I-485. So you can't count the 804 days from when you filed the I-485 with the VAWA application. It will be on hold until VAWA is approved. So whatever normal processing times are, add 3 years to it for VAWA. Clara says, good morning, dear Marina. Hope you're doing well. I was a student. I overstayed my visa more than a year. Got married and my husband withdrew his application. All cases are denied. Call me, Clara. You probably have a good case for VAWA. We can help you get all the paperwork without the cooperation of your U.S. citizen husband. Oh, I see. There's more. And then I filed the VAWA myself, but I had to visit my country and got emergency parole, not in the country. But okay, if you have an advance parole, they will let you back in. Don't worry. Okay. You can come back not because your mother is a citizen of U.S. or because your husband is a citizen of U.S., but because you have an advance parole and it's not expired. So that's how you do it. That's how you come back to the United States. All right, let's see. Questions on Instagram. SNS Triumph Store official says, if your application says it's taking longer than expected to process, what does it mean? It just means that they're super delayed and they're not able to meet the deadlines of processing your application. It doesn't mean anything. It's just taking a long time. Anthony Sennett, who follows me, thank you so much for watching. He says, dear Marina, thank you for all your sacrifices for us every week. I appreciate you. You're such an amazing lady. I truly appreciate, Anthony, you saying that. Thank you so much. People are saying victory to Palestine. I don't think you're understanding the issue. It's not Palestine versus Israel. It's terrorism, Hamas versus Israel. I don't think the Palestinian people, like women and children and old people, were improved in any way by Hamas killing some Israelis. If anything, now Israel, that was for free, giving them water and food and all these other things and lived in peace with them, really, for many, many years, they cut all that off, and now the civilians are suffering. So when you say victory to Palestine, understand that you are saying victory to terrorism and death to the Jews. I'm a Jew. Leave my page. You don't like me? I'm a Jew. Leave it. You don't have to listen to what I preach here. I preach acceptance. I preach kindness. I preach legalizing in US human rights. You're one of those people who violate other people's human rights. Leave here if you don't want to be here. There's so many other lawyers out there. Find yourself someone who believes what you believe, please. Uh, all right, let's move on. I have more questions coming in. Over here, there's a question on YouTube saying, how long does VAWA usually take? So VAWA, as of right now, is taking 35 and a half months from the date you file. So, it doesn't always take 35 months. Sometimes it takes a little less. Sometimes we get lucky. We usually prepare our cases very well. We include everything that we're supposed to include. We do our own background checks. We don't wait for you to go to your police station. We have our own fingerprint system now, and we send it to FBI. So our cases usually get approved faster, but they could take 3 years. And then your green card application, that a lot of times you file with the VAWA, that takes extra time because they don't move on that until VAWA is approved. Everybody who's now filing for work permits, starting I think this month, should be getting 5-year work permits. If you are waiting for asylum, you filed already. Waiting for a green card, or whether you file through VAWA or something else, it's going to be a 5-year application. If you have withholding or removal, if you have cancellation of removal, it's going to be 5 years. I'm really happy. I think that is the best news this week. What else is new? Oh, there was a really good memorandum issued by Department of Homeland Security, and basically it talks about what's called deportation priorities or removal priorities. So what does that mean? That means that they're really going to concentrate on clearing up the court calendars and schedules. And if you have any kind of a hope for legalizing through maybe a family member, like you have a parent or a child who's a citizen, or your spouse is a citizen, or a green card holder, they will probably start closing out many cases that are in immigration courts to lighten up the load, because so many new people are now filing from the border, filing for asylum. They want to set up priorities who they're going to work on first, and those will be people with crimes, people who are like automatically deportable for bad moral character, for crimes, for lying, for fraud. And if you're like a regular person who filed for asylum, or by accident somehow ended up in removal proceedings, and you have any hope to legalize in some other way, they will be closing out some cases. In fact, the memo says the judge should always now ask the government attorney, who is like your prosecutor, if you're trying to make this like a criminal case, for example, right? If you compare an immigration court case to a criminal case, the government attorney, OPLA, is like the criminal prosecutor, like the district attorney. So the judge will first ask the OPLA attorney if there's some way they can take off the calendar if you are high priority for immigration removal, for deporting. And if you're not, they're going to start closing out those cases. Now, there was an open letter to Congress asking to have Department of Homeland Security clarify, well, what happens if you had an asylum case? I see you guys ask me a lot about this in your questions. You had an asylum case, and your case was dismissed, terminated, and you are now out of status. You don't have your asylum case open anymore. You don't have your court case open anymore, so that's good. You're not getting deported anymore, but you have no way to get a work permit. You're not legal anymore. You're just like stuck. You're hung up in the air. And believe it or not, there's a lot of people like that. And they asked the government to clarify, well, what to do with those cases. So we'll see what happens with that. It's really interesting. Um, let's see what else. If you have any questions about immigration, let me know. I will answer them. And if you want to do a consultation, I'm here for you guys. Give us a call. Our phone number is 718-769-6352. Farah wants to know if she wants to talk to me fast. If anything, it's probably going to be next week. Give us a call. My phone number, all our information is on the bottom. We're definitely taking your clients. You don't even have to talk to me. You can talk to one of our lawyers. Andrew Lopez says, my VAWA was approved on December 5th, I'm sorry, October 5th. And what's the next step? My I-360 card is being produced so case is approved. It seems like definitely that's the case. Now you either have to wait for your pending green card I-485 application to be approved. That might take another year. Or if you never filed it, maybe now is a good time to file it. I don't know exactly what's going on in your case because I'm not your attorney. I don't know all the details. If you'd like a consultation, give us a call. Maybe we can help. Otherwise, talk to your lawyer who helps you with filing. Okay. Um, okay. So Honda me says, hello, ma'am. My fiance, girlfriend, I guess, or boyfriend, is in the US as an SIV. Can they come to the country for marriage? If they're not from your country, they have asylum from another country, they can come, they can get married and file for you as soon as they get their green card. So, yes. Harish says, hello, attorney. My H-1B visa was denied. I refused a couple of times. I think that is there any way that I can come back to the US without the waiver process? It's almost 2 years. If you're afraid to be in your country because of your political opinion or religion or social group, you can come to the border and ask for asylum, Harish. And I see you saying that you don't feel safe because your employer is torturing you. Uh, if you try to go to the police and complain and nothing happens or your life gets worse, you have a case for asylum, you can come to the border. Amit is asking for help with the visitor's visa. We don't help with that. I'm so sorry. Okay, I think I had a good show today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit over passionate today, but hopefully next week I'll get back to normal, everyone. I'm going back to work now. I have another live with in the Russian language at 12 o'clock. If anybody here is watching and understands Russian, join us in like 15 minutes in the same place on my pages, and I'll see you then. Otherwise, for all my English speaking viewers here, I'll see you next week on the same day. Thank you so much. See you next Wednesday. Bye bye.